Actually sold his position, his stock position in Nvidia,
No,
and
never
kept
do
his
that.
exposure.
Never.
Hi Team Value, JJ here, welcome back. Well, today I'm going to react to Ross Gerber talking about the price of Nvidia and what people should do with it. He's always got a lot to say about everything about Tesla, Nvidia and many stocks. He's got a fund, he's a fund manager. Not sure it's doing so well, his fund. Nevertheless, we're going to see what he's got to say. I'm coming to you from outside today, bit of noise in the home studio, so I thought I'd go outside. It's raining a little bit, but nevertheless we'll persist. So let's get into it.
I started with Nvidia because I'm a gamer, so shout out to the gamers out there. It's been a great decade, since E3 when I found this company, and the technology that they've developed over the last decade is unbelievable, and now all this is coming to fruition. So the valuation's coming to obviously a full valuation now for a very aggressively growing company. It does create, more of a dilemma for investors, and that's why we in my fund GK and also with our clients manage to like a certain allocation for clients, because you have to sort of take the emotions out of when it's good to maybe trim a little bit or is this a time to add a lot? I don't know. Markets have definitely gone up substantially, so investors need to be careful around names like Nvidia. But on the other side of the coin, you got to own the stock, and it's in my fund, so that's a way to do it. You can buy it in one of the index funds for semiconductors or a fund like mine, GK.
Ross, yesterday we had a guest who said pretty much exactly the same thing. He's actually sold his position, his stock position in Nvidia,
No,
and
never
kept
do
his
that.
exposure.
Never.
Okay. Can I carry on?
No. If you sell Nvidia out of your position,
hold on.
Please do not do that. That would be
Let me
a crucial mistake that could cost you greatly in your lifetime.
Okay, this is entertaining. He's always entertaining.
Okay, so this guest of ours, let me give you his pitch. Okay, clearly it was different from yours. He basically said that he sold his stock position in Nvidia because he found it overvalued, but kept his exposure through ETFs. Now, if you're a retail investor, isn't that a prudent strategy?
No. Okay. You have to think long term as an investor. It's the exact opposite strategy. You should not even think about selling stocks.
Ross, the stock has gone up 87% year to date.
It doesn't matter. When I bought it, it was a company making graphics cards chips, and we're about to embark on one of the most consequential moments in technology history. I've been doing this for 30 years. The internet was invented during my life, and that changed my life as an investor. And people wanted to sell stocks like Microsoft in 1999, and where would you be today?
Oh, that's contentious. Okay, I've talked about this before, and it's interesting what he's saying here. Generally, if you're a long-term investor, not to sell stocks if you really believe it in compounding over the very long term, and it's high-quality stocks. It's true that Microsoft, before in the 1990s to now, it's risen hugely. But as I keep saying, you can get great companies at bad prices. Great companies can be bad investments. He's talking about selling it if you'd bought it earlier, of course, not necessarily buying it today. But Microsoft took more than 10 years. It languished. If you had bought it in 1999, it would have been well over a decade where you wouldn't have made money. Same with Amazon, about a decade. In 1999 was an absolute bubble. Now I reacted to a clip by Aswath Damodaran, who talked about the fact that it is way overpriced today. He said insanely overpriced, and he thinks it's going to come down at some point. Whether this is the next earnings or the earnings after that or the earnings after that. Stanley Druckenmiller owns Nvidia, and he said that it could go on for 2 or 3 years yet. So we just don't know. Ross is saying here that you just got to own it and keep holding it. Warren Buffett has held in bubbles. He held Coca-Cola in the 90s. That was egregiously priced, and he held the stock. He said he regretted not selling some back then. He is known to kind of hold to, and so Ross is saying just hold on. But is Nvidia in a massive bubble? He's really being emphatic here about not selling it. Now, if you're getting value out of this episode so far, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button to help the almighty algorithm to spread it to more people. Thanks.
I think this way. People are living to 100. This is a massive opportunity. So it's really about how much risk are you comfortable with, not whether or not you're going to sell a stock. I mean,
But do you
question somebody's, sort of thinking with that.
But do you not think that the pace at which Nvidia has rallied and moved up, it's almost like a melt-up move for the stock, where it becomes more susceptible to any slight disappointment? And the short sellers get active, and then the retail investor gets caught on the wrong side.
The volatility of Nvidia is always going to be there. It was down 50% in 2022, and it was really hard to take back then, when we were down 50% on it, and it was 50% down another time recently that I can remember. And that's investing in technology stocks, but it doesn't change the fundamental value of the company and what they're doing and what moat they have around literally the brains of AI is Nvidia. It's the absolute, like the brain cells of AI. So there's no other company in its position I've ever seen.
Well, I think what he's saying there is true. Nvidia's in a very good position. It's got pole position in the building out AI. But as I've said before as well, there are examples like Cisco Systems, which was in a similar position in the 1990s, building out the internet, the hardware for the internet, and the CEO was great. It was thought of as one of the greatest companies around, and Nvidia, I think, is in that similar position. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Nvidia is a bubble today? Do you think it's going to crash at some point? If you were holding it, and I've asked in the poll, in the community section of YouTube, I've asked this question: if you had $1 million worth of Nvidia, would you be selling today? And if you go and have a look there, if you want to see the results of that, some people would trim, some people would sell it all. There were very few saying that they'd buy more, I think, at this point from memory. What would you do at this point if you had a huge stake in Nvidia and it had gone up? Would you hold it like Ross is saying here, or would you trim some? Sell it all? What would you do? Do you hold Nvidia? What are you doing at this point in time? Do you think it's going to go up much more? Let me know in the comments. Now, the YouTube channel's grown in views quite a lot recently. There's a lot of momentum there, but it's not big enough that I can't reply to everybody in the comments. So I will reply. If you leave a thoughtful comment, I'll definitely reply to it. So I'll see you in the comments. Now, if you're already a subscriber and you want more, you can go to the Art of Value Patreon and join up there just for the price of a cup of coffee each month. I post exclusive content over there that I don't post anywhere else when we're having discussions over there with the existing members. It's early days over there, so go and check it out. I'll put a link in the description and hopefully see you over there. Now, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, I'm going to put a link here to the episode that YouTube thinks that you in particular should watch next. I'll put some related links in the description for people watching or listening elsewhere. And thanks to everybody for watching or listening, and I'll see you in the next one.